What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Dromo for week number 2. So first off, thank you so much if you watched last week. Hugely helpful, really appreciate it. It's hugely inspiring. And if you're new to the channel, real quick, what Dromo is all about is every week we do an episode and we cover the top 5 electric vehicle updates that are enthusiast focused, with a special kicker at the end for something that's a little bit more old school or traditional. But what Dromo is all about, just real quick, is that we try to cover electric cars and enthusiast cars and where those overlap, because we believe that there's a bright future for the enthusiast car and the car enthusiast out there in the world. Like, I'm a huge one. I know that a lot of you watching are. We believe here at Dromo that there is a bright future for the enthusiast car in the electric age. And that's what we're here to talk about and cover and discuss and chat and share our thoughts and insights and all that good stuff. So with that being said, let's just jump right into the top 5 for this week. All right, so first gear this week, everybody comes from BMW. This week, BMW showed a concept that they're calling, what's it called? The BMW Vision M NEXT. It's breathtaking, right? It looks like supercar. It looks like the next evolution of what the BMW i8, which they're no longer building, would look like. The cool thing is this concept that they're showing, it's a concept car. They're saying it's a plug-in hybrid. That's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about what this really alludes to. This is the preview of what's to come with BMW and their high-performance M division. And I think that's the real takeaway here. So this car is beautiful, gorgeous, and it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to inspire us about what's to come for BMW and performance and enthusiast cars from the BMW M brand, which is near and dear to my heart because I've had a BMW M2 before, and I love that car. It was my favorite car. It's my favorite car of all time. In some ways, I'm sad I got rid of it. Looking forward to the new one that's coming out here shortly in the next few weeks, which we will cover on this channel. But that's an different story. So coming back to this M Vision concept, it's really cool because it shows what the future of BMW is going to be. And even Frank Weber, the head of BMW engineering R&D, has said that, yeah, this is a plug-in hybrid. We want to showcase that technology with this concept. But what we really are focused on, what we really know is important, is the electrification, full electrification of these high-performance vehicles. And it's coming. And it's coming fast for BMW M. And this is what this is all, alluding to here very shortly from BMW. That's exciting. And what Frank Weber talks about in some of these interviews that they've been doing over the last week is they revealed this car is that the new class platform, which is the BMW's new platform that will be in everything from the 3 Series to the 5 Series to the 7 Series and everything in between, that platform, that architecture, which will be coming out in 2025, I think is what they're saying with the new BMW 3 Series, it will be able to support full electrification, everything from a single motor to a quad motor setup and everything in between. Which is incredible. And BMW has teased, this was a few weeks back, they teased something with a quad motor setup, a BMW M product that does a skid steer. Let's show that. Whew. Crazy cool. So maybe the next generation, the next evolution, let's call it, of drifting, who knows. But what's awesome about this BMW is that it's, again, I've said it a few times now, I can't overstate it. They're thinking about it, they know it's important, it's coming, and they're trying to figure out how to make an emotional, enthusiast-focused electric vehicle. And if their track record is anything to go by, they'll figure it out. So I'm not too worried. But again, BMW, more of this, please. All right, shifting into second gear, everybody. We're going to talk about trucks because trucks, there's no more passionate or enthusiast owner out there than a truck owner. So we will talk about trucks quite a bit on this channel because we're focused on enthusiast cars, and in trucks, they're about as enthusiast focused as you get. Those owners are passionate, and I get it. So we're going to talk about Ram. So this week, Ram teased their upcoming all-electric truck that's going to be competing with the Ford F-150, the Cybertruck, of course, from Tesla, the F-150 Lightning, the Silverado EV that GM has showed a concept for. So Ram is slow playing it, and they're saying that they're trying to learn and get feedback from focus groups, from owners, from the media, from the press, all those people before they show their concept, because they want that concept to have baked in all the goodness of all that feedback of what people really want. And this week they teased what that will look like, and you can see it right here. It looks crazy from this teaser image. It looks more Cybertruck than F-150. And what I mean by that is the F-150 is, of course, very traditional. It's it looks like just any other F-150 with some different lights and different fascias. The Cybertruck, of course, looks like it came from an alien spaceship. And this looks like it might be closer to the Cybertruck than the F-150. Something I didn't know until I was doing research for this video is that the truck segment, first off, I knew was huge. Like the number one selling truck, or the number one selling car in the US every year is the Ford F-150, the F-Series pickup truck. And you see here that they sell like 730,000 of those, at least they did in 2021. And that's an insane number of vehicles. What I didn't realize until I was doing research for this video is that Ram Trucks is actually second. I had always expected in my head that GM would be number 2, but GM is number 3 on this list with the Silverado. The Ram outsells the GM pickup trucks, all of them combined, which I thought was crazy. So Ram has a lot at stake here for what they're showing, because they know that this thing is the cash cow. This is the money maker for them. They sell over 550,000 of these cars every year. I mean, in 2021, they sold 570,000, nearly 570,000. So this is a big deal for them, and they want to get it right because, of course, there's a lot at stake. So they're playing it slow. They're teasing. They've teased a few times this year, and they're saying that they're going to reveal their concept here in November, and the vehicle will be going into production in late 2023 for 2024 model year. So more to come on that. What's really exciting, right, is that this truck is obviously going to have a lot of performance. It will have huge towing capabilities. It's going to be commercial grade potentially. And they're saying it'll have anywhere between 159 kilowatt hour to a 200 kilowatt hour battery pack, which is huge. I mean, the Hummer EV has a 200 kilowatt hour battery pack that weighs as much as a Honda Civic. So these trucks require a lot of energy because they're not the most efficient, and they have the duty cycles that they're seeing is pretty intense. So let's see what's more. There's going to be more to come with the Ram. I'm excited to see where it goes and to see what it looks like, because it doesn't look like it's going to be a traditionally styled truck. So let's see. They really look like they're embracing the Cybertruck ethos of let's shock and awe and make something cool. So let's see. More to come on Ram. 3. Let's shift into 3rd. So Ariel this week, I don't know how I missed it. A few weeks back, Ariel, the claim to fame is the Ariel Atom, and then the Nomad, the off-roading Ariel Atom. They showed a hypercar. They're calling it the Ariel Hipercar. They showed this a few weeks back. It got on my radar this week. There's a really good Evo article out there in a video that I recommend all of you check out if you're more interested in this in more detail. But what I thought was really cool about this Ariel is that, you know, Ariel Atom, the Ariel company is focused on lightweight, simple enthusiast cars. And what this hypercar is, it's all electric, which is, who would have guessed it, right? And because one of the challenges with electric cars is that they have batteries, big batteries for enough energy to get them, a decent range, and that makes them heavier, just inevitably, right? With battery technology where it is, and that makes it a challenge for a company like an Ariel or a Lotus to really embrace their ethos, which is lightweight performance cars, while they're still adopting the electrification strategy, and that's why I find this really interesting. That, and for one other reason I'm about to get to. So the car has a relatively small battery pack. I think that right now they're saying it's 56 kilowatt hours, which isn't that big. But the mind-blowing thing here is that it has a range extender, and it's not a traditional range extender like you might think, like a 2-cylinder or a 3-cylinder or a 4-cylinder gasoline petrol engine, maybe a rotary like Mazda has in the back somewhere. No. This thing has a turbine engine range extender. Crazy, like a jet engine bolted to the back of this thing like the Batmobile. It looks crazy. Just, I like it. So again, the reason I'm bringing this up and talking about this is, first off, it's showing that a company that's focused on lightweight vehicle architecture and a design approach like Ariel is embracing electrification. They're trying to figure out, how do we make something that's lightweight, because it's critical to vehicle dynamics, at least for the type of vehicles we like to have. So let's give it a small battery pack. All right, but now we're suffering on range. And they don't talk about the range numbers. They just say it's a 56 kilowatt hour battery pack. So how do we get enough range out of this thing? That's the inevitable next question. And they didn't want to slap in a huge internal combustion engine with all the ancillary, fuel systems and everything else that goes along with that, which adds a lot of weight and mass and complication. And all these things go against what Ariel is all about, which is very much Lotus, like simplification, add lightness. They added a turbine engine, which Who knows if this will ever actually see the light of day? But I think the thinking to me is what's the interesting part here, is that they're they're going after some media attention. Sure, it looks like the Batmobile's got a jet engine on the back of it that runs on petrol. They're saying that this jet engine, by the way, this turbine engine could run on any fuel. Right now it's tuned for petrol, but they're saying that their hope is that if this was to see production, that it would run on hydrogen, because hydrogen is a much cleaner burning fuel. So again, the key takeaway for me, it's twofold. It's that they're talking about, they're thinking, how do we make an electric car lighter while still giving it range, which is what the turbine engine is all about. And second thing is that they're focused on how to make it exciting and emotional, right? And the turbine engine obviously does that. Who knows if it will actually see the light of day, but again, it's the thinking, it's being creative. Everyone is still trying to figure out how to make something that is emotional, because emotion has a lot to do with making a car that enthusiasts like, that really touches you deep in your soul. So again, very cool. It's incredibly, it looks like the Batmobile. I mean, the styling, the turbine engine, they definitely got some inspiration from that. So who knows, but again, cool, very cool. And let's see what Ariel has to in the near future with this thing. I'm hopeful that something like this will see the light of day, because who wouldn't want to be Bruce Wayne or Batman, I guess, driving down the freeway with the turbine engine out the back. All right, shifting into fourth. Florian, I said I'd give you a shout out. This one's for you, man. So Renault this week. This is what's in the thumbnail image for this week's episode. I love the psychedelic color combinations that they showed with some of these renderings and some of these images. So this is the Renault 5 Turbo 3E. Hope I got that right. It is crazy looking, and again, this is interesting to me for a few different reasons. First off, it's sort of a resto mod, sort of like a ground up tube frame race car thing. It's still a concept. It's not going into production. At least it's not. They're not saying it's going to go into production yet. The Renault has a history of showing these things and then not doing it, just like almost every auto manufacturer. But again, it's inspiration. It's inspiring, and it's cool because it's all electric. And what's interesting here is that they didn't go for some crazy 1,000 horsepower, 2,000 horsepower. We're going to go 0 to 60 in 1 second. All this nonsense, which everybody's chasing now, which, because the numbers are so extreme, it's become irrelevant, in my humble opinion, but that's a subject for a different day. So the interesting thing about this Renault is they're not chasing numbers, they're chasing fun. So this thing is all about drifting. It has 375 horsepower, it's rear wheel drive, and it has 2 motors, one on each rear wheel. And because of that, they can do some very cool things with drifting and having different modes for time attack. How cool is this thing? It's just shocking. Just look at some of these photos. Can you imagine seeing this thing drive down the road? I don't know what else to say. It's cool because they're not chasing numbers. It's inspiring because it just looks so aggressive. And I don't think a car gets more enthusiast focused than that. And I think there's a lot of Renault 5 fans out there that agree with me. So yeah, I'm speechless. Just look at some of these photos. It's eye candy. I hope they build something like it. I'd probably buy one. Shifting into 5th gear, everybody. So this week we've got Honda, or Acura as it's called in some places in the world. They teased back, this was a few months ago, they teased 2 electric sports cars, and everybody's been musing or assuming that's going to be the NSX and then some kind of S2000 successor. This week, the conversation got a little more serious in some of these interviews that have been going around in some of the rumor mills. They basically admitted, yeah, the NSX is going to be reborn, and it's going to be reborn as an all-electric NSX. Again, the NSX the original NSX back in the early 90s, that thing's claim to fame was that it made a supercar usable every day. It made a daily driver supercar that was reliable, that had Honda reliability, but had extreme performance, and really showed the rest of the world that you can make a reliable, high-performance supercar that also is beautiful and is emotional. So my hope is that because Honda's making a big push over the next decade or so. By 2040, they're saying they're going to spend 40 billion US dollars on their electrification strategy. They actually have a partnership with General Motors as well, to use General Motors' Ultium platform for the next couple of years, the next decade, while Honda ramps up their own efforts and gets their own platforms in development. But what's really cool, again, it's these high performance Halo products showing the future of the brand and where it's going. And Honda has admitted you can bet on it that it's going to happen with an electric NSX. So fingers crossed. It's just as game changing as the original NSX. More to come, hopefully. There's only a few teasers out there. There's really no timetable. They're saying it might be in production in 2025 or 2026, which means they're not going to show it for a little bit longer. But again, the rumor mill's churning on this one, which is great. I can only hope that they also do a smaller, more affordable electric sports car, something like the S2000, which is extremely close and near and dear to my heart. So let's see, more to come on that. But again, just like last week, we talked about Honda and motorcycles and then embracing the electrification strategy. The cars are right there as well. So let's see, more to come. So then we're gonna go in reverse now this week. The old school, kind of a throwback, some inspiration. This week, it's actually not cars, it's a boat. So just look at this thing. Lamborghini has teamed up with a company called Technomar for what they're calling the Technomar for Lamborghini 63. And it's 63 for a few different reasons. So Lamborghini, the company, was founded in 1963. The boat is 63 feet in length, and they're only building 63 of these. And I'm sorry to say that if you want one, they're already all sold out, just like the Pagani last week. And just like the Pagani last week, this Lamborghini boat has a V12, but it doesn't have just one V12. It has two V12s, making over 2,000 horsepower. What? So yeah, again, crazy boat. It's incredibly beautiful. It's definitely a piece of art. Each is $3.5 million if you're in the market for a secondhand one, because they're already all sold out, all 63 of them. But just look at this thing. The cabin is beautiful. It has a cockpit that's inspired by the cars. It looks to me like they're using the steering wheel from the Aventador, as well as the gauge cluster and the seat from the Lamborghini sports cars and supercars and hypercars in a boat. And just look at the cabin and the bathroom. How cool is this boat? I mean, just sign me up. If you have one, I'd love to. If you're taking delivery of one, they delivered the first one this week in Miami Beach. If you've got one and you need some guests, give me a call. Reach out and I'll shoot a video. I'll shoot a video on this boat for everybody on the channel. No problem. But just crazy and extremely cool, right? Because again, this is enthusiast focused. It's got twin V12s that make over 2,000 horsepower in a Lamborghini boat. Words do it no justice. That's really all I got to say about the boat. It's mind-blowing. All right, everybody. That's it for this week. I appreciate everyone listening in. If you've got any feedback, please leave it in the comments or send me a message directly. My email is on the channel as well. Again, I just appreciate all the support. And again, like I don't want to say this like every other YouTuber, but it is important apparently for liking, commenting, and subscribing. A few of you have already subscribed. Huge. Thank you so much. It's a huge boost in confidence for me. And yeah, like I said, let's end every week with this message, right? Stay hungry, stay foolish. And until next week, that's it, everybody. Take it easy.